Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. I'm sure it's a great relief that we have the Minister that we do here responding to the debate, because if I recall correctly, of course, he was a member of Scotland's Emergency Services when he was a member of Mountain Rescue Team. And so I'm sure he will be more than adequately trained should any of us here require the necessary first responder interventions. This is an excellent and opportune debate with a very comprehensive motion that I think covers many of the bases in front of us. The key thing that underlies this is that early intervention in these circumstances dramatically improves the likelihood of long-term good outcomes. There's been reference by Nanette Milne and Malcolm Chisholm to the related intervention of cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And I think we should say a little more on that, because, of course, for any of us who've been trained to do it, albeit I must be incredibly rusty now, it is easy to watch and difficult to do. You require the confidence to put your full weight behind the cardiopulmonary resuscitation as you press down on the person who's suffering a heart attack's chest, and be prepared to break ribs if that's what it takes, as in some cases in older people may be a consequence. So I think associated with this, we do have to look at the practical training that has to be given to people to administer CPR. It's not just a question of having a bit of paper that tells you how to do it. You need to realise it needs a lot of physical effort to do it. So I hope that we take tent of that. I'm sure that Laura and Paul, as trained first aiders, are already familiar with that, and that that's partly why we've got CPR in the motion. There are other things that are very simple that we should hopefully see that people are trained in our schools, our youngsters. Just simply getting people into the recovery position can often be a decisive intervention between people's survival and people's non-survival, because if associated with a heart attack can be vomiting. And if you're in the wrong position, you can drown in your own vomit. So people should be taught the recovery position. So there are some very, very simple things that can be done. I represent many of Scotland's fishermen, and these days a large proportion of our fishing boats carry these automated devices that are so dramatically easier to use compared to the kind of equipment that Dr Milne used and that came in some time after my father graduated in medicine. For me, there is a small personal element in it. My grandfather had a heart attack on what was then called the Lower Station, Dunfermline, in 1930, long before I was born, and that was the end of him. Today, I would like to think that such interventions via an AED and CPR would have meant that he would have lived beyond his 68 years when he died at that age. I hope that this debate stimulates wider interest. I hope that we hear some interesting things from the Minister, and I hope that he does not have to make any personal interventions using his pre-existing training. Presiding Officer.